Coming to line up on the grid, adrenaline flowing, heart start pumping, and that's just the commentators in the comms booth, let alone the riders as well. They're probably fairly cool and calm and collected, you'd hope. So, now thinking about your braking markers, heading up towards turn 1 and nailing that exit to get as good a slipstream and a drive out of the turn up towards turn 3 as possible. Red Bull Rookies Race 2 here in Austria getting underway in just a couple of moments' time. You've got your relative seats on your sofas, gripping the edges of them because it is going to be a bumpy ride here in the Rookies once again. The green flag waves at the back and we wait for the lights to come on and go off and we burst to the light once again. Here we go, Red Bull Rookies Race 2 in Austria, and it's a great start from all of the front row. And looking at Marcos Uriarte, the number 89 there just behind, he nailed yesterday's start as well. Munoz darts over to the right as he tries to make sure nobody goes up his inside into turn 1. Daniel Munoz, yesterday's race winner, doing well there, up into 5th place, I believe it is. And Tactical Wazri once again in 3rd. I saw a rider go wide at turn 1, but now we begin at the slipstream. Who's going to take the jump in towards turn 3? It's David Alonso out front.
Tactical Brasserie looking to make a move early doors, but not quite. That's Uriarte, the number 89, sticking up the inside of Tactical Brasserie. A great move there from the number 89. So he slots into 2nd behind David Alonso. And yeah, we saw the number 7 last time out race winner, Daniel Munoz, making a good start from the 3rd row of the grid, but I think he's just dropped a couple of places there.
Yeah, he has. Now we're looking at turn 4. Be very, very careful. It's a steep downhill braking zone. All too easy to get it completely wrong, but plenty of them looking all safely through. The classic Red Bull Rookies freight train in full flow as we head through turn 5 and towards turn 6. David Alonso looking strong out front. Uriarte just behind him, and then David Munoz just behind him as well. Keen to see where Danny Holgado is in the pack at the moment. 3rd place in the championship as we navigate our way through turn 7 now. Looking back at Uriarte, flick it right towards turn 8. I think that is Danny Holgado off the back of that pack. It is, he's in 5th position now.
Yeah, Daniel Holgado didn't get the best of starts yesterday, but we saw from about a quarter of the way through, he started to carve his way through the field. That's Uriarte again taking the inside line, but I think David Munoz is going to take him back into the final corner. Yes, he is. That's a classic Austrian move there from the duo. Switch back at turn 9, dive into turn 10. It's David Alonso who leads over the line on lap 1.
Well, there we have it then. Colombia leads a Spanish duo. Then we have the Thai rider, Tactical Brasserie, still there in 4th place, buoyed by that podium back in Germany. He's riding that wave of confidence all the way to the front end of the Red Bull Rookies. How great would it be to see him get a first victory in the class as well? Looking back from David Alonso, looking at David Munoz, and they all fan out. Tactical Brasserie's got the proper slipstream effect. Will he get the jump in towards turn 3? Alonso's been completely swamped. It's Uriarte into the lead at turn 3 here.
Yeah, classic turn 3, classic slipstream through turn 2 and into the braking area. And yeah, Uriarte got it backing in there. Got at the inside, took the lead, but it's not in the lead anymore for Uriarte. It's Tactical Brasserie, and I think David Munoz, yes he is, pulls alongside and makes the move stick before they've even got into the corner.
It looks like Ivan Ortela made another great start up from 11th place. He's in this leading group as well, just behind yesterday's race winner of Daniel Munoz in 5th place as well. Elliot, I'm growing a little soft spot for young Tactical Brasserie. I love the Thai hip-hop he was playing in the room next door in Germany, and I love the fact that he's up there battling for the podium as well. He is awesome.
He's a very likeable rider. He's riding in the CV Junior World Championship as well. Not had the best of years. He had a lot of bad luck, to be fair to him, in the junior talent team match, but he
sides across the front of David Munoz as well.
He's having a fantastic weekend here in the Red Bull Ring, and of course he picked up his maiden podium last time out at the Sachsenring 5 weeks ago as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm keeping an eye as well on the number 7 of Daniel Munoz there. He was making some audacious moves coming out of turn 8. He's still in that, I think sixth spot now. He is, yes, just behind Ivan Ortula. They're going to come across the line once again to complete lap 2. Is it only lap 2 or is it lap 3 now? I've lost count already. 15 laps to go. That's what matters, and it's the fastest lap of the race so far from the man in 5th, Ivan Ortula, that finished 2nd place yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the gaps. There's 1.6 seconds covering the top 14 riders, and well, you can see there, they're all line astern. I think that was Ty Furasato tapping the back of the machine. We see that a lot in the Road to MotoGP programs and even in the Grand Prix paddock, but no one really ever listens to that.
No, it's a surefire way to make sure someone is going to overtake you at the very next corner, and Ivan Ortula just stuffed it up the inside, I think, of Danny Holgado there, and Marcus Uriarte going wide too. Ty Furasato, the rider who was indicating there, just off the back of this semi-gruppetta in 9th position. Keep your eye on the Japanese rider. He's very, very quick, and this is his 2nd race here in Austria.
So they're down into turn 4, the tricky right-hander, the 3rd of the 3 tricky right-handers really on this course. They're very tight as well, but it's still Tash Cornbraz leading. He's looking very comfortable out front. We've not really seen too much of it, apart from in race 1 yesterday. This year, having Matt is very, very impressive. He's obviously had a nice, well, I say summer break. He didn't really have a summer break because he was racing in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. So it looks like he's pumped and ready to go here at the Red Bull Ring as we look back at Ivan Ortula from David Alonso. Yeah,
you need sort of proof to gain that confidence of your ability, and he certainly had that from not just the podium but also running at the front yesterday. That was a superb defence from Tash Cornbraz there. Just let his brakes off, left no room for David Munoz to come up his inside. That was just brilliant, sensational stuff, and he's going to lead over the line once again. But look at that, number 7, Daniel Munoz, still in 5th place on the chase of Ortula and David Alonso, yesterday's other podium finishers. Who was the fastest that time around? Ortula once again, but he's looking a bit squirrely under brakes. Into 3rd position now goes the lanky Spaniard. I know he's been looking around. He wants this to be his last Red Bull rookie season, pretty much moving up into the World Championship. Needs to get a wriggle on because, well, he ain't getting any smaller, is he? There's the lanky fella.
No, he was still in the European Talent Cup last season. He really did dwarf that bike, so thankfully for Ortula, he moved up to the Junior World Championship on the Moto3 machine with MTA. He's, I think, still an Aspar rider. He was in the European Talent Cup. I assume he's still with them now. And yeah, he's really, really impressive last year in the Red Bull Rookies and also this year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the Grand Prix scene in 2022, that's for sure.
Yeah, it would be great to see, and plenty of these guys making waves in their motorcycle racing careers. But for now, we focus on this individual race. It looked like Ortula got slightly out of the seat there, and Holgado's making moves. He's up to 4th position as well. He still leads that Moto3 Junior World Championship as well. So he is always an ever-present threat to the front of these Red Bull Rookies races. David Alonso just behind him, and Ty Furasato also making moves up. He's in 7th now. Batelli just behind him, and Uriarte behind him as well in 9th position. 10th at the moment, Alex Mian returning this weekend from injury. He didn't compete last time out in Germany, and Mario Aggi there in 11th. Scott Ogden watch, Brits who are watching at home, he's currently in 12th.
Yeah, Scott Ogden just slipped down the order slightly, but he's still in the Louis group, so nothing to panic about at all for the British rider. Incidentally, the last British rider to win a Red Bull Rookies Cup race was Rory Skinner back in Jerez 2017. So it's been a while for the British riders, but Scott Ogden's got a chance to do it today. As Ty Furasato, the number 72, the Japanese rookie, sets the fastest lap of the race.
No need to remind you all, unless you are a new-time viewer, that Furasato is a graduate from the Asia Talent Cup. Such was his dominance in the 4 races we had at Qatar at the beginning of the season. He was moved into the rookies and he won his very first race back in Mugello. This is the first time he's visiting Austria, but he doesn't take long to get up to speed as Danny Holgado moves into the lead at the end of this sort of front straight up in towards turn 3, shoves Guazri back into 2nd place with David Munoz in 3rd. David Alonso just 4th there. That is really impressive from Holgado. We don't normally see him so aggressive this early on.
No, we saw it yesterday, didn't we? He sort of took his time, didn't make the best of starts, didn't make a bad start either, and just slowly picked his way through, but he's doing it even earlier. And it was 2 for the price of 1 at turn 3 for Daniel Holgado. Got into the slipstream and, yeah, just made a move at the inside. As clean as you're ever going to see, really. Tash Cornbraz is just making it a little bit difficult for Holgado, but yeah, it's the first time really we've seen Holgado this weekend at the front, so let's see what he can do.
Clearly done his homework overnight, but as has David Munoz. He's not got any long lap penalties, all starting from the back of the grid to contend with. He's there from pole position, up the front, from the get-go, and he's neck and neck with Holgado, his compatriot, as they come out through turn 8 in towards turn 9. But what about David Alonso as well? Into turn 9 we go, and it's Brasserie leading once again. Just let his brakes off. That corner speed is absolutely fierce as he comes through the final turn. He will lead once again over the line, will the Thai rider. This is an inspired ride by the Southeast Asian competitor. Over the line we come once again. Slipstream City, Ortola's got a massive run there on towards turn 1. Who will be the last of the late breakers? It looks like, though, no one's really got an answer for Brasserie there. He can just let his brakes off. It's cracking to watch.
Absolutely came out of nowhere on board, didn't he? We didn't see him, and then boom, into the braking zone. He's launched it and made the apex, so fair play to the number 5, but he's going to have a bit of a problem with David Alonso pulling out the slipstream up the inside into turn 3. Here we go. Who's going to lead? It's looking like David Alonso. And is Brasserie going to go from P1 to P3? He is. So that's David Munoz making a move up the inside as well. We're going to see plenty more of that in the last 11 laps.
Well, we got 1-2 in the championship, 1-2 in the race. You got third man in the championship, Danny Holgado, just back there in 4th position. His run out of turn 3 wasn't so good, as he's let time for Risato now into 4th position as well. He's done his homework overnight. Clearly, as young Furusato, remind you, he's come over all the way from Japan over for the summer break. He doesn't compete in any of the other junior world championship or the European Talent Cup like some of these riders do. He is, well, back on the bike for the first time since we were last in Germany.
There's the live cup standings then. As things stand, David Alonso is going to be extending his title lead. He is leading the race from the man second in the championship, David Munoz, 14 points. And yeah, Holgado's penalty yesterday that's put him 4th to 9th really did cost him some valuable time. Before this race he was 27 points behind. If it stays as it is, as you can see there, that was David Munoz going on the green, so got to watch out. I was tempted not to mention anything about riders going on the green because I didn't want to jinx it, Matt.
Yeah.
But we did just see it there, so we do have to mention. So let's hope we don't see too much more of that, else we are going to start getting warnings, and then if they do carry on, we're going to start getting penalties as well.
There is Furusato behind his former Asia Talent Cup competitor and graduate. I mean, these guys just have no regard for track limits coming through turn 1, do they? I mean, that is insane at the back there. So we'll be seeing some track limits warnings coming in very soon. We got some already for Eddie O'Shea, the number 8. Then we got Shoni Shimura, also got a track limits warning, as has Bartolome Perrin, the number 39. So will we be seeing any long lap penalties as we look at Matteo Bertelli make an audacious move up the inside of Daniel Munoz? Ivan Ortola's shaking his head. He didn't really approve of that one, but no real touching there, so everyone kept it upright as we see Danny Holgado move in front of Bertelli as well. On the braking zone in towards turn 4 now.
Classic Red Bull Rookies Club action. Daniel Holgado leading the race a couple of laps ago is now back down in 9th place. Yeah. So it's just what can happen in the Red Bull Rookies when they're all racing so close. Here's a nice little slow-mo of them coming over the brow of the hill, braking into the downhill turn 9, the penultimate corner here at the stunning Red Bull Ring.
Proper pocket rocket is David Alonso, as is, well, David Munoz, and then Tajakorn Brasserie. Furusato rather a bit taller, and it's yeah, a lot of vibration going there. Yeah, a lot of front end chatter for young David Munoz there, the number 64. We come to that very corner we were just seeing a replay of turn 9. They absolutely send it into this one. Downhill right hand, you can see in real time speed the front end chatter that he's got there, but he's riding around it and still making a solid bid for the lead. Over the line they will come once again. Alonso from Munoz, from Tajakorn Brasserie, from Tayo Furusato, and Ivan Ortola and Holgado, who sets the fastest lap of the race so far. We're into the 139s now.
Felipe Farioli has got a track limits warning. It's just flashed up on the screen, as has Sommer Gorbe. Farioli is currently in 12th. Sommer Gorbe is down in 18th place. So just watch out for more track warnings for those guys. As Holgado, we just mentioned him slipping back in the pack. He's responding. He's in the slipstream of Ortola. I can hazard a guess he's going to make a move up the inside. Ortola looks to have been late on the brakes better, not as late as
Matteo Bertelli.
Yeah, Bertelli and Holgado. So Holgado makes the move stick. He's back up into 5th place now.
Yeah, that is awesome stuff from both of those guys. Holgado doesn't want to let this lot get away. They did have a couple of bike lengths of breath, breathing space for a moment there, but he's on the chase once once again. I think we can appreciate the Red Bull rookies. There's a lot of toing and throwing, a bit of a yo-yo effect. Riders, little group getting away, then they come back, they might get away again. Tends to happen, doesn't it? Yesterday, as we saw, David Alonso and David Munoz way off the back of the leading group due to their long lap penalties. Did manage to catch them within several laps towards the end. Of course, David Alonso ended up on the podium.
Just got to be careful here, David Munoz, from the chasing pack, because Alonso is starting to eke out a little bit of a gap. It was 0.2 seconds at the start of the lap. It's definitely more than that now. But yeah, you rightly point out, Matt, this happens quite a lot in the Red Bull rookies and in the smaller class in general because of the slipstream. As Ty Furusato and David Munoz do a little bit of the swapsies there at turn 9. All clean though, all clean out the final corner as well. No track limits, thank you very much. So 9 laps to go. It is David Alonso. Let's see what the gap is over line. It's just under half a second, so it has crept up on that last lap, but not by too much.
We have got track limits warnings for Mian and also Furusato, crucially as well. He is in that 4th position, and it looks like, well, Ortela and Alex Mian. Well, Alex Mian just ran over once again, so that could well be a long lap penalty there. And Ortela was the other rider, the number 24, who went way over and way wide at turn 1. Got to be so careful, your race could well be ruined. We've now got this giant group coming together once again. It looks like, though, Danny Holgado just goes completely wide, off into the hills, Sound of Music style. Hills are alive with the sound of Danny Holgado going, no! As he goes wide at turn 3, but he's fighting back with Ivan Ortela once again. 9 laps to go. David Alonso just looking once again very, very confident, strong and calm out front here.
He certainly is, and it's one of the reasons why he's leading the championship. It's his 2nd Red Bull Rookies Cup season. He was 4th here 4 times last year, would you believe it or not. Didn't get a podium. He made up for that yesterday when he did get a podium. But of course, he's looking for that race victory with Tachborn Braswell, Daniel Munoz and Ty Furusato chasing him down. And Holgado and Ortega a little bit of fisticuffs there coming out of turn 3. They've got to be careful because they don't want to get too behind from the leading quartet.
Yeah, absolutely. As Furusato moves up the inside once again of David Munoz, he pushes him back to 4th position, and keeping an eye on those track limits warnings once again. Through the final corner we come, as we now have a quartet, or is it? Is David Alonso actually breaking them? What is the gap? It's 6/10 of a second, and then a further 1/4 of a second back from Braswell is Ty Furusato. But I do think with as we see, wow, that was very wide from both Alonso and Furusato. Race direction could have a real task on their hands here. I do think with the slipstream we could be catching each other back up, and especially with Holgado coming right on the back of Furusato there. Well, they could lead them all the way up towards the front once again with 8 laps to go. Around about just over halfway through the race now.
Yeah, the chasing group have got a box a little bit clever now. 7.5, just over 7.5 laps to go. And David Alonso is creeping ahead. You can see at the bottom of your screen there, it's already crept up by a couple of tenths just in the 1st sector. So we'll see what it is in the 2nd sector. It looks like it's staying around about just under a second. But yeah, they've got to be careful if they're gonna start battling. Then Alonso's got clean track and clean air, and he's not got anyone trying to overtake him. So they do need to be a bit careful to not let Alonso get a bit more of a gap, because as soon as it gets over around a second, then if Alonso doesn't make any sort of mistakes, then it could be race over.
Well, David Alonso has actually got a track limits warning then, and we have got a long lap penalty, the first one of the race, and it goes to Alex Mian in P10. He's off the back of this main leading group. You just see him through the back of your shot there. So David Alonso will have that on his dashboard, a track limits warning. I think that means then one more time he goes over the track limits, he will have to do a long lap penalty. So goodness me, same goes for the likes of Detweiler and Furusato, Ogden, Laletta, Rosenhaler, Farioli, Gorba, O'Shea, Nishimura and Perrin as well. So there you have it then, confirmation for Alex Mian, exceeding track limits, long lap penalties off the back of that group there. Will he have seen it that time around and go straight through it? Not until we find out. Keeping an eye, yes, he has gone straight on, there we go. So he's taken that penalty immediately. As we look at then, the number 7 of Daniel Munoz, he has now moved up into 4th position. So playing it fairly quietly, once again, staying out of trouble is Daniel Munoz. He now wants that 2nd victory. He goes up the inside of both David Munoz and Tachborn Braswell. Keeps it on the red and white paint. And, well, he finds himself now in 2nd position.
It was brave, but it was clean enough from yesterday's race winner. But this is what I was saying. They're beating each other up, and it's only just going to allow Alonso to break clear. That gap looks to me like it's well over a second. I say well over a second. It's not going to be more than sort of 1.5 seconds. It's definitely over a second now. So the riders have just got to be careful. Daniel Munoz, of course, wants that second race victory. There's David Munoz. They're not related, by the way, if you're not familiar with the Munozes, however you say that.
Munozes?
Munoz.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tapping the back of his bike, Tactical Brasserie, saying follow me, and it is sort of what they've got to do.
It's not exactly wrong, but I don't think Tire for Rosata in particular will be listening to that one little bit. Out of turn 8 they come, and on towards turn 9. David Alonso with that clear track in front of him can take whatever line he so fancies through this downhill right-hander there. We keep a close eye on the guys, how wide they run. How big is this leading group now? It's all the way back down to Marcus Uriarte and P9. And wow, Alex Mian, you really do not want a long lap penalty because he's shuffled all the way back to 15th position. Goodness me. So, yesterday's race winner, Daniel Munoz up there into second position now. 1.5 seconds is the gap up to Alonso. He is making a break for it. The hunt is on. 6 laps to go. Can they do it? Will they be sensible? Will there be long lap penalties? I just can barely cope with the Rebel rookies.
Well, I hate to break the news to you, Matt, but I definitely saw at least 2 riders. I'm not sure who they were. They were towards the front of this gaggle of riders who did exceed track limits. And there you go, Daniel Munoz running wide at turn 1. Don't think my eyes deceived me. I think that was at turn 1. So yeah, Daniel Munoz now has to be careful as Alonso is coming a little bit of a spec to these riders in the distance. Yeah, that's late on the brakes.
That is very, very late on the brakes, but he's really carried that corner speed. That is a cracking line through there from Daniel Munoz. Superb stuff from him, not leaving any room for David Munoz to be overtaking him up the inside or around the outside for that matter as well. Bit of breathing space between Tactical Brasserie just behind him and Tire for Rosata as well. He's got Danny Holgado just behind him there, just having still a quiet race once again. And since he was on the front early on, well, we'll have to see how he progresses now, won't we? Because he does tend to, about this time, the tone of the race, 6 to 5 laps to go, starts to get a little bit more frantic. Those who really want those podium positions start making their way towards the front. We've got Brasserie as well, has got a track limits warning, so the tyre rider needs to be careful once more. As we see Munoz shaking his head as he comes out of turn 10. Across the line they come. 5 laps to go. The gap is now 2 seconds. This could well be David Alonso's race to lose now.
I think it is. If he doesn't make any mistakes or exceeds track limits, then I think it is David Alonso's to lose. Certainly, Daniel Munoz shaking his head because he probably knows that they're not really going to catch him unless Alonso makes a mistake, because there you go, they're setting lap times that aren't on par with the championship leader, and Daniel Munoz knows and David Munoz knows if Alonso wins, then that championship lead's only going to extend, and there's not many races left. There's 5 left, including this one, so 4 after this.
Well, to give you some perspective as well, the only 1:39-minute lap time that was set last time around was by your race leader David Alonso. Everybody else in the 1:40s, not ideal whatsoever, as we see Ortolo as the next rider. He's the second from back of this group. There he is in the middle of your screens pretty much there. He is another rider been given a track limits warning now, so well, no more ifs and buts. Could be long lap penalties, 3-second penalties at the end of the race if they fail to comply. Oh my goodness me, just endless drama even after the checkered flag falls in the rookies. That's kind of why we love it, as we just let them race as well. This huge freight train of the similarly the same coloured bikes roughly. And look at this from Daniel Munoz. The Munozes versus each other. It's like the Fernandezes in Moto 2, just making life difficult for us mere commentators. As we see Tactical Brasserie let the brakes off once again up the inside of David Munoz once again into 3rd position. He wants that other podium, and he wants it fair and square on his own merit. Nobody crashing out in front of him. It's got to be fully earned all by himself.
Another 2/10 gained on that lap for David Alonso, another 1:39, but dipping into the 1:39s also were a few riders. David Munoz, Brasserie, Holgado and Ortola and Botelli in this lead group also were in the 1:39s, but they were slower than David Alonso, so they're not making inroads.
That's pretty crucial. We can see now then the number 96 of Holgado is pulled out towards the right, trying to let the brakes off, go up the inside. Will he make it into third position? Yes, he does. He has got a track limits warning as well, though. So that's not ideal for the Moto3 Junior World Championship leader. But I did say we need to keep an eye on him, and he's clearly decided now is the time to make that move. He wants to try and make inroads on second in the championship of David Munoz. He's not really got an answer for David Alonso, but hasn't even got an answer for Tachikon Brasserie, he was only a tenth or so slower than Alonso last time out, and he's already pulling out a bike length or two from Holgado in third.
Holgado holds all the cards in the Junior World Championship. He's 60 points clear.
Big drama already. We've got a long lap penalty for Daniel Munoz, yesterday's race winner. He's just behind Taro Furusato there. Is he going to get time to do it? So that's really going to mess up this leading group.
It's happened again. We're getting track limits warnings and then track limit penalties towards the end of the race. And yeah, yesterday's race winner Daniel Munoz is the first one of this lead group. I say lead group, it's the battle for second, but we'll call it the lead group. Yeah, he's going to have to take it before the checkered flag drops. And if he doesn't, he's going to get a 3-second penalty for not complying. So this makes it interesting. That's pretty much Daniel Munoz's podium hopes vanished.
Yeah, quite right. As we see time for Rosato, he now moves on into that third position as well. He wants another podium. Daniel Munoz, well, he sees it immediately and in he goes. He now wants to see if he has time to actually catch them back up and get another podium. He slams on the gas as he tries to get a good run out. He keeps it in between the white lines, which is very crucial. But is that going to be enough? Will there be enough time for him to catch? I don't really think so. Hopes of the win, bar any disaster for Alonso, completely gone. 2.7 seconds up the road. These guys are now battling for second place only.
Yeah, second and third on the cards, and for the number 96 Holgado and the number 64, they're line astern there next to each other coming down into turn 4. It's crucial that they pick up the best points possible because they're the closest challengers to Alonso in the title race. The gap from David Munoz, to remind you, is 9 points so far to Alonso and 27 to Holgado, and that's only going to extend, so they really need to get on the podium if they can. Holgado's not had a podium in the last 4, would you believe? So this is vital for the number 96.
Yeah, it really is, and he's sitting right behind his main sort of championship rival at the moment, David Munoz, just ahead of him there. So Munoz in 4th place, Holgado in 5th. He's probably going to make a bit of a dashing, daring overtaking move, but the problem is he's got yesterday's podium finisher Ivan Ortula for company as well there, and then he's got the problems of Taro Furusato and Tachikon Brasserie as well. But Munoz, he's moving up the inside of Furusato, very nice and clean move. But what about the comeback from Furusato? He's very, very good at that sort of thing. He's learnt that from his racing in Qatar, but he was unable to do it that time around.
Patelli, track limits warning, the number 28. He's in that group that's fighting for second and third place, but no such issues for the number 80 David Alonso. Let's just watch him come out of turn 1. He's going to keep it nice and clean, you'd think, because he's under no real pressure. He's got a 3-second lead now, so it's comfortable for the Colombian. It's not so comfortable for any of these guys, though. They're chasing second and third place.
It is absolutely maximum adrenaline and stress for all these guys at the moment. The freight train sends it all the way up the hill towards turn 3. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers this time around? One more go after this is Furusato. Larry lunge Furusato up the inside there. That was superbly executed as we see Patelli go way wide. Well, he needs to be careful with that. He has got track limits warning, so that could be a penalty for him. They're neck and neck on the run down towards turn 4. It's Furusato, but is it? It looks like Ortula 24 is into the first position of this little group. Second position overall. Where did he come from? Furusato's been pushed back to 3rd, 4th, 5th maybe.
6th place. Oh, we've got a problem.
That is an expired motorcycle for Ariarte. What a disaster for him. I hope he's not dropped anything there. He pulls off the track immediately. Thank you very much for that, Sunshine. But what about this? It's really turned a screw as we're on the penultimate lap. Couple more corners and a lap to go. And Ortula, well, he's completely hoodwinked them all into second.
He's had a quiet race as Ortula, the second place man for yesterday, but he's going to get past here into turn 9, or is he?
No, he's not. He's got a full Brasserie. Just let the corner speed do the job for him. Absolutely no way through on him there. It's Holgado just behind Munoz as well. And think. Use your head, David Alonso, and this victory will be yours. So we'll focus on the battle for second, the final lap here in Red Bull Rookies Race 2 in Austria. Oh, David Munoz Munoz, he gets it all crossed up. That could be his hopes of second fluffed as he tries to get back into the slipstream. What happened there? They were all so fortunate. And flashbacks to Germany, Elliot.
Oh, so did I, Matt. That was a hairy moment there for David Munoz. Thankfully, he didn't crash and thankfully, he didn't collect anyone else. It's now Daniel Holgado into turn 3.
Or is
goes
it?
into second place, just about. Typer Rosato tried, but he passed Barazri for third place. So it's now Holgado leading the group in the battle for the podium.
Well, it looks like Munoz is hooked onto the back of this group once again then, so he's not quite out of it, but every corner passes. We have one opportunity less to try and make this sort of move in towards second or a podium spot. He can't let Holgado get away. This could be crucial in the standings. We come through turn 5. This is Alonso at turn 6. This race is very much his as we come into these final sectors.
Don't run wide, Alonso. You've got this in the bag, sir. Second podium of the win. The podium is in the bag for anyone, though. Holgado currently leads. Typer Rosato going up the inside.
Oh, not quite, though.
No, not quite, but Holgado's leading the way. This is vital, and then David Munoz making his way back up into the podium fight. What's it going to happen?
Well, 2 more corners to go. Who's going to come out of them on top? Holgado veers over to the right, but will it be Munoz? He's diving down the inside, but Brasserie going for second position. Come on, Tatacorn. You got my support, lad. Holgado on the inside again. Who's going to get it? But we can take nothing away for David Alonso, who has rocked to victory here. What a sensational ride from Alonso. And Brasserie's done it. He's got the second podium. Podium for Thailand in the Rookies Cup. And David Munoz takes a sensational 3rd place from Holgado. Verasato 5th and Ortela in 6th. Wow.